Well, welcome to the Top Gun Show, where I bring you new providers, new technologies, and introduce you to some of the top professionals in the telecom industry, all so you can make informed decisions. Today, I'd like to welcome back Dan Sachs, the CEO of Landbase, the sponsor of the Top Gun Show. Dan is a distinguished entrepreneur and technology leader. As the co-founder and former co-CEO of AppDirect, he pioneered the subscription commerce platform, generating over $3 billion in annual transaction revenue. Dan was named to Forbes 30 Under 30 list and has been recognized by Goldman Sachs as one of the most exceptional entrepreneurs. Holding degrees from McGill and Harvard universities, Dan's passion now drives him to lead Landbase. In September of this year, Landbase raised $12.5 million in seed funding. They are no longer in stealth mode. Dan is ready for prime time, and after last week's episode, the phones are ringing. Dan, welcome back to the Top Gun Show.
Thanks, great to be here. Honestly, my throat's hurting. I've had 100 meetings in the last week, back-to-back weeks, so I hope everyone puts up with my raspy throat.
You're fine, man. You're fine. When you move as fast as you do, the throat is always the last thing to catch up, man. I mean, it's you're losing your voice over a good cause. Way to go.
It's a good cause, helping businesses. That's what I'm all about.
Yeah. Well, last week you talked briefly about why Landbase was formed and what unmet need in the marketplace existed. So let's dive a little deeper. Talk about the challenges that exist with a traditional go-to-market strategy of lead gen.
So business life is hard, right? You need to generate leads that convert. And in fact, that's what whole companies are there for, right? You have sales, you have marketing, there's a lot of siloed teams, there's a lot of manual repetitive processes, there's a ton of cost that's incurred. And it's really hard if you don't have visibility on what your return on that investment's gonna be. Now with AI can be very good at predicting outcomes. And the next generation of AI is even more powerful than what we all know about generative AI. The next generation is called agentic AI, and it's AI that takes action on your behalf based on tons of data points that it's trained on. Landbase has built a proprietary model called GTM1 Omni. We have Stanford PhDs, we have NASA rocket scientists turned data-driven marketers that are building this platform to really help predict the success. And many of you might have heard of hallucinations or issues with trust and reliability and security with AI. But with agentic AI and with our models, we actually harness the best of machine intelligence and combine that with top human performance. So the results are very human-like. And that essentially produces outcomes that are consistent, predictable, and save you time and save you a ton of money.
That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. So, I mean, we all know about the complexities with the go-to-market strategy, and that, it really takes top salespeople, which are bred to create relationships, to sell, to create trust to sell. They're locked behind their CRM, they're locked behind the computer doing a bunch of menial things, and this really frees them to do what they do best. So, how has Landbase addressed the complexities of the go-to-market strategy into a more streamlined solution?
So over the last decade, we've had a ton of software tools that all don't work together. You need a lot of people to manage the software tools, and then you need training and enablement and all this, and it becomes really complex and a big waste of our time. We sit in front of our screens hunched over, and that's not a way to live, to be honest. So I think that agentic AI that takes action on your behalf can actually do 80% of what you would have done previously on a screen. So you're freeing up 80% of your time. At Landbase, our brand motto is reclaim your day. So you can do more of what you love. That could be spending more time with family or on a hobby, or it could be like me, wanting to spend more time in the business with personal trusted relationships. Remember the days when we would take people golfing and we would go out and drink with our friends? We'd get to know people, you'd know their families, their kids, we'd interact. That's how the channel was built. That's how these trusted relationships were built. Let's get rid of our screens. Let's free ourselves. Let's go meet people and build those relationships. That's what Landbase and that's what agentic AI can do. It can free you up from the boring stuff so you can get out in the world and do what you love.
Or just sell more. I mean, it can do that too, right? That's great. So talk a little bit about GTM1 Omni. You know, that's your proprietary platform there. How and why is that so powerful?
Okay, so just as people, like, their minds were blown when ChatGPT first came out, that's a language model that generates content with natural language. It's not trained to understand sales outcomes, okay? So what GTM1 Omni is trained on is it has the context of every business in the world. So it can understand who you are as a seller and how your buyer perceives you. And it can hyper-personalize content that becomes incredibly relevant. And it's trained on over 40 million previous sales interactions and billions of parameters. So think of it as like a brain or an engine that understands all these different parts and can craft the perfect message that's predicted to convert. So that way we can dramatically reduce spam, dramatically reduce like wasted outcomes or bad scripts that don't work. And we can help you craft the perfect message to that buyer that's going to allow them to get their attention so they trust you, they convert, and they ultimately become a really happy customer.
That's great. And I know in a couple of weeks we're going to talk to one of the early adopters of the platform, and I know him personally, and he's just raving about the results. So stay tuned for that. Well, I read that you'll be releasing a series of free tools for go-to-market leaders and agencies to discover data-driven insights about their business. Can you briefly talk about that?
That's exactly it. So what we found is that we have a suite of paid products that if we think you're going to be successful on our platform, we'll take you as a customer. We're not a cheap price tool either. Prices start at $3K a month, but we do that because we know we can provide value. For those that don't want to start on a paid edition, we provide free tools and insights. And those free tools and insights can help you transform your business. What it does is it understands a whole bunch of things about the way your business is perceived. So things like, what's the value prop that the wisdom of the crowds online think of you? What's the sentiment? So are there negative things being said about you online or positive things? How do you improve your digital credibility? These are all insights that we can provide to you for free to help you be in a better position to succeed in your go-to-market and ultimately then deliver much more for you.
That's incredible. I mean, I think, you know, $3K a month is way too cheap for the deliverables of what you're doing here.
And trust me, you can scale with us and pay a lot more. But what we want is to really be fair, and we want to have a great ROI along the way. So we start at $3K a month. We definitely go upward, and we have some people that are happily paying us. It's the kind of thing where if you're actually selling leads that convert, people are really happy. So go to landbase.com, put in your email. We'll give you your free trust score, and we'll give you a set of free tools that are going to help you. We'd love to talk.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Well, Dan, I know you're busy. You're setting the world on fire in a whole new way here. Thanks for carving out time out of your schedule to be on the Top Gun Show again. I really appreciate it.
I'll always make time for you, Steve.
Thank you. Thanks for watching, everybody.